Hi, welcome to another episode of Odds and Ends. This is Cindy, Judy, and Laura. And today we're going to be focusing on Christmas. Judy makes these wonderful felted Christmas trees, and I wanted to get her in here to kind of explain how she does it. It's a long process from what I understand, but these are just the cutest things. So, Judy, what should we do?
Well, excuse me. You can see some of the examples right here in the front, the bigger trees, and then things you can hang in the on your Christmas tree if you want to make hanging things. This is a very labor-intensive art project. First of all, you have to figure out how in the world to make the felt because you cannot go to Joann's or any other store and buy felted to make these trees. Okay. The only place I've ever found is, and I'm going to show you this. This is 35-inch wool that I bought at a fabric store. It was like $30 a yard, so I bought it with a 60% off coupon. And then what you do is you take these things home and you put it in your washing machine with hot water and soap. It doesn't matter which soap, you can do whatever your laundry soap is. Just don't do this with a red sweater or red wool and white wool because you'll end up with pink wool. Unless you want a pink tree.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. As you can see, this flat fabric comes out kind of wonky.
Like a hide.
It comes out like a hide. Yes, exactly. And I cut, this is 2 yards.
Wow.
And it's shrunk down, and I have another one down here, and that's how much it shrinks. So I've cut 1 tree out of this, and you can see how much is left. I think I can get another maybe 2.5 trees out of this, but we'll see. When you are shopping for wool, because I've never seen it at any other fabric store, I have no idea if anybody sells it in your neighborhood. Great, let us know. I've gone to great lengths because I'm the urban shopper of finding sweaters. This is a sweater somebody gave me. Okay, because they thought that I could felt it. Has no label inside or outside that lets me know what it's made out of. So I felted it anyway, and it's not the greatest felt.
So does that mean that it's not 100% wool?
Possibly, but I don't know because I can't
Okay.
see. I can't see it. These are some sweaters that I bought. This is from Abercrombie and Finch. It's 100% wool, and you can see how it
Compacts the fibers.
compacts the fibers exactly. Now this is another one that is similar to this, but it's thinner because you never know. Like this one is very thin. You never know how it's going to come out in the felting process.
So this was 100% wool?
This one was made in China. 100% wool. See, it
Goldwater
depends.
Creek.
It's kind of like what it amounts to is what kind of yarn they buy, where they get it from, how they knit it, how it's knit. So it depends upon all of those circumstances. When you're looking for sweaters, you'll notice this. On the back, there's no label, okay? But if you look inside, usually on the seam, it'll show you a label here. And this says 85% wool, 15% nylon. This will not felt. That nylon will prevent it from felting. Sometimes, it's really important you look at this, okay? Here in Texas, we don't wear wool sweaters. So if you're watching this from up north, you probably have lots of wool sweaters you can look at. But down south here, we don't have, we do acrylic and polyester mostly. If you look at most sweaters, I think it's the law here anyway, that there has to be a tag here that tells you what the product is made out of. And if it's not there, you can look on this inside seam and it'll tell you what it's made out of. Always check this. You have to have 100% wool felt, because otherwise it just will not work.
So what is the reasoning for shrinking and compacting the fibers? Is that
Well, feel that. That's a wool sweater. Feel that, how thin it is?
yeah?
Okay.
Okay.
Now feel some of these things, how thick they are.
Wow. Okay. They feel like
So what you're doing is compacting them so they're thick. Okay.
gotcha. Understand.
They're thick.
Yep.
Now,
So they won't unravel or anything.
no,
Right.
no, they won't unravel. No, heck no. The next thing you're going to do when you're out shopping is you're also going to keep your eye out for tree toppers. As you can see, we got lots of different tree toppers here. The most important part for the tree topper is that it not be too heavy, because I have a really wonderful kind of like real heavy metal Santa Claus that's really old, but it would just it wouldn't work because it would be too heavy for the tree. The other thing about this is when I'm shopping, I go to Dollar Tree, Dollar Store, salt and pepper shakers work really good for some of this.
That's a good
On
idea.
the top.
Right.
Wow.
This is a Dollar Tree thing, I think,
That's neat.
from there. Also, the big box stores have all kinds of things out at Christmas time. Like they have small things like this little bird here. This, I don't know if you can see this or not, but it's
Little sleigh.
the little sleigh thing I got at Tuesday morning, I think, when the Christmas markdown came. The next thing you're going to want to do is we're going to have to cut the circles. Now this is, once you get this is going to take a while, okay? Once you get the fabric going. By the way, I have 9 tubs of this in my garage. It's all color coded, stripes, plaids, reds, browns. I've got to tell you too that one of the places you can look for wool sweaters, at least in the South here, is in the men's department, because they tend to have more wool sweaters than we do for some reason or other. And when I say men's department, I don't mean Dillard's or Dayton's. I mean the secondhand store.
Okay.
Okay.
Don't wanna spend $100 for a
Next
wool
thing you're going to
sweater.
have to do is you're going to have to cut circles. Now I made paper, paper templates, and you said this one was 5
That one is 5.5 inches.
5.5 inches. Okay, and the next one is like 4.5 inches, so that it comes out with a 1/4 inch around. The first time I did this, when I was trying to figure out how to do it, I just kind of eyeballed it and cut it out. I would suggest that when you make your circles, that you get at least the maximum would be a 1/4 inch around, and the minimum would be an 1/8 of an inch around, because you want the trees to be able to stack up. I also would recommend that this one is an especially good one because it has some felted things. This one?
Yeah, because I love this one. It looks sort of like Dr. Seuss.
It does. My kids call them Dr. Seuss trees.
Yeah.
But if you can see, there's some really thin felt here, but there's also some really fat, thick felt. So what you can't do is go to the big box stores and buy that felt that you can get in the squares. That won't work.
Too thin?
It's too thin. Now, if you want to get some for a color, to add to the color, you can do a thin one once in a while, but you really need the fat ones for it to look good, okay? As you can see, this one, I cut the circles out using a pinking shear. And so the edges are kind of different.
So what is a pinking shear again?
Pinking shear? I didn't bring it with me, so I can't. It's got little teeth.
Okay.
And so when you cut
I
it,
have a pinking shear.
you have a pinking shear.
So it
Cool.
makes zigzags then, is what
Kind
you're
of,
saying.
yeah, it makes little points on it.
Okay, and does that help it not fray? Is that what the reasoning?
No, they never fray. They never fray. They never. Yeah, there you go. Wonderful. Ugh, try not to cut me. Picnic shears. Okay, wonderful. Cindy produced that one. What is it you especially like about that one?
Well, I just think that, the way it was like kind of tucked over.
Wampy.
Yeah.
The strongest wire I have here is 12 gauge. Okay, and that's if you want a really strong base. Goes down in size. I tend to try to use the wire up that I've got here already. Like you can get colored wire if if you think your wire is gonna show. I'll show you next time how we use the wire to make the armature for the trees.
Well, let me suggest too. I mean, because
Yeah.
I also have a lot of wire.
Yeah,
and,
you do.
Hardware store is a really good place to get
Hardware
wire.
store.
Right. That's from the hardware
Galvanized
store.
steel. Yes, galvanized steel. This is what is that? I can't even see that.
So craft wire. There's wire at the hardware store.
Forest wire. So,
Forest wire.
so Judy, the higher the number, the thinner the gauge, right? So if a 10
Yes.
gauge would be thicker than a 12 gauge, would be thicker than
Right.
an 18 gauge.
Right.
Okay.
You got it. See, they're smarter than I am about this. What would I do without them? Yes. So anyway, that's I even say.
and
little
you
bitty
get a
bits.
tree.
And you get a tree. So next time when we meet, what would I do without my friends? The next time we meet, I hope you have your circles cut, and your wire that you want to
Your tree
use,
top.
and your tree topper that you want to use. Because next time we get together, we're gonna make. If I can get them to pay attention,
Sorry.
we're gonna make each one of them is gonna make their own tree, and I'm gonna make one. So I'll see you next time. Well, yeah, question.
Does it have to be a circle? Can I do a square?
You can do a square if
And
you want
then-
to. Yes, if you want
Make
to.
it look like those cocktail napkins. All
Oh,
fancy.
right.
Yeah, that's a
so
good
it's
idea.
just kind of asymmetrical.
See,
Yeah.
that's what's so cool about this is once you kind of get, it's kind of like Picasso said, you learn the rules, and then you break them.
I'm good at that. She's really good at that.
Yes. That's what we're gonna do. You're
Perfect.
gonna be creative with your tree that we're gonna make next time. So I'll see you next time.
Thank
Bye.
you.